You're listening to a Prairie Punk House Companion right here on the Prairie Punk Press Network. Welcome, everyone, and thanks for joining us. This is our intro mini podcast, Prairie Punk House Companion. I'm Neckbone.
I'm Jared the Bear.
And with us, as always, is Munchkin.
This is a limited podcast series where we talk about growing up as punks in Kansas and Missouri. From the mid-90s to the mid-2000s. We'll probably start in Wichita since that's where we grew up, and then mostly focus on the punk houses of Lawrence, Kansas and Kansas City, Missouri, where we lived during those times.
We'll not only talk about the houses that made the prairie punk scene, but also the local and regional bands who are active, and of course, the bands who inspired those bands from all over the world.
We'll also discuss how we got into punk, our personal history, and all from a storyteller's perspective. And we reserve the right to veer off topic wildly whenever we please.
Our third host, Munchkin, well, he can't talk, but he's still the punkest motherfucker I've ever met, so he'll be a permanent guest host.
We'll be telling a lot of stories from our punk and rock and upper crust days. Nothing was saying is admission of guilt or any law that may or may not have been broken inadvertently.
Or broken on purpose.
Right.
I'm going to preemptively state anything that sounds like an admission of guilt is just a tall tale, embellished for storytelling purposes.
Allegedly.
The views expressed by any host or any guest on the Prairie Punk House Companion are the personal views or opinions of the people who express them and do not reflect the views or opinions of anyone else on the show or any company, employer, or any other organization that the individual expressing them has or will affiliate with in the past, present, or future.
Allegedly.
You don't have to say that after every sentence.
I feel like we need to cover our asses. Speaking of covering our asses, punk rock, at least to us, is intrinsically politically left. John Lydon is an edgelord and never took politics seriously. Saying punk rock is anti-establishment and not going into what that means is a misunderstanding of punk ethos. It's not simply anti-establishment. It's anti-racist, anti-sexist, anti-homophobia, anti-transphobia. Punk is inclusive, promotes equality and equity, freedom and justice for everyone. It's not a debate. Fuck Nazis, fuck racists, fuck homophobes, fuck TERFs, fuck misogyny. If you're a conservative punk, you're not punk, you're a culture vulture poser.
So if you are a conservative, a fascist, or a literal Nazi, or you just don't support any certain marginalized group of people for any reason, this is not the podcast for you. Look, I obviously can't stop you from listening, but keep in mind we will not cater to you or your views at any point.
It's probably a little late, but I should probably mention this podcast is not safe for work or younger ears. Probably should have mentioned that before.
Right, so maybe listen to this with headphones, in your car by yourself, or in a room filled only with cool people.
Allegedly.